canopy. Deep within the ancient, whispering eucalyptus forest, Oshii, a woman whose spirit was as wild and untamed as the land she protected, felt the subtle shifts in the wind. Her life was interwoven with the forest's rhythm, a silent promise to safeguard its delicate balance. By her side, her loyal companions mirrored her vigilance. Josie, the brindle Scottish terrier, her keen nose constantly sifting through the scents of the earth, and Rosie, the apricot Maltipoo, whose bright eyes missed nothing, were her steadfast shadows. Above them, Bubba, the magnificent female eclectus parrot, her vibrant plumage a splash of color against the green, surveyed the canopy. Her sharp calls often heralded distant changes, a living alarm system for their secluded haven. And then there was Bush Benene, a tiny female fairy with dark green skin, her gumnut helmet perched jauntily on her head, the forest's ancient magic made manifest. One morning, a new presence stirred the forest's ancient heart. Bridgitte, a passionate wildlife photographer and researcher, ventured deep into the canopy. She was on a quest to document the forest's most elusive inhabitants, particularly whispers of a creature thought long lost. Bridgitte moved with a quiet reverence, her eyes scanning the undergrowth, her camera poised. She carried a profound respect for the wild, a desire to share its hidden wonders with the world, hoping to inspire its protection. Her ultimate hope was to capture proof of the thylacine, a creature believed extinct but rumored to still roam these ancient woods. She had heard the faint, ghost-like cries, and her heart yearned to confirm the impossible. But the forest also harbored shadows of a different kind. Silas, a man whose heart was as cold and calculating as the traps he set, moved through the trees with predatory grace. He sought not to admire, but to exploit. Silas was a poacher, his gaze always fixed on the rare and valuable, the creatures that fetched a high price on the black market. He saw the forest not as a home, but as a resource to be plundered. One afternoon, Bridgette's patience was rewarded. Peeking from behind a fallen log, a tiny, striped form emerged. Echo, a baby thylacine, a living legend. Bridgitte gasped, her camera clicking softly. Unbeknownst to Bridgitte, Silas had been tracking the thylacine for weeks. He saw her, not as a fellow admirer, but as an obstacle, a witness who could ruin his lucrative plans. As Bridgitte adjusted her lens, lost in the wonder of Echo, a shadow fell over her. Silas moved swiftly, silently, his presence a sudden, chilling intrusion into the peaceful scene. A rough hand clamped over her mouth, another seizing her camera. Bridgitte struggled, her heart pounding, but Silas was strong and ruthless. He dragged her away from the clearing, deeper into the forest. He tied her to a sturdy tree, a cruel smile on his face. "You saw too much, little bird," he sneered. "Now you'll stay here until I'm done with my business." He confiscated her camera and phone. Silas then turned his attention back to the thylacine, setting up a more elaborate trap. He left Bridgitte with a chilling warning. Try anything, and the forest will be your tomb. Miles away, Oshii felt a ripple of unease. The forest, usually a symphony of familiar sounds, now held a discordant note. Bush Banane, hovering near Oshii's ear, whispered, "A human heart cries out, Oshii. A new shadow has fallen." Josie and Rosie, usually playful, were now restless, sniffing the air with unusual intensity. Bubba, perched on Oshii's shoulder, let out a sharp, anxious squawk, pointing her beak towards the deeper woods. "Someone is in trouble," Oshii declared, her voice firm, "and it's not one of our own. Let's go, my friends. The forest calls for our help." They set off, following Bubba's aerial guidance and the dog's keen noses. They found signs of a struggle, a dropped lens cap, a scuffed patch of earth, and the faint, lingering scent of a human not of the forest. Josie whined, pulling Oshii towards a barely visible trail. Rosie, meanwhile, spotted something glinting in the undergrowth, a small silver locket, barely visible. It was Bridgette's, a tiny beacon of hope and a clear sign they were on the right path. They soon heard Silas's muffled voice, followed by Bridgette's faint cries. Oshie peered through the foliage, her heart sinking as she saw Bridgitte tied to a tree and Silas nearby, setting his cruel traps. "We need a diversion," Oshie whispered to Banane. "Something to draw him away from Bridgitte, and then something to scare him off for good." Banane nodded, her tiny form glowing with determination. Bubba let out a series of piercing, territorial squawks, mimicking a much larger bird of prey high above Silas. Startled, he looked up, momentarily distracted from his work. As Silas's attention was drawn upwards, Josie and Rosie, with a burst of speed, darted towards Bridgitte. Josie gnawed at the ropes, while Rosie barked furiously at Silas, drawing his ire. Bush Banane, with a surge of ancient magic, caused the surrounding undergrowth to rustle violently, creating an illusion of unseen creatures closing in. Silas, unnerved and outnumbered, dropped Bridgette's camera and fled in a panic. Bridgitte, free and safe, embraced Oshie, tears of gratitude in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. "You saved me." Oshie smiled, knowing the forest had once again protected its own, and found a new ally in Bridgitte, a guardian of a different kind.